I'm very honored to introduce my colleague of the Chamber Board of Directors, Mayor of Livermore, John Marchand. John was elected to office of mayor in November 2022. Prior to being elected to mayor, John was first elected to city council in 2005 and served 6 years as council member, then served as mayor from 2011 until 2020 when he termed out. He ran again in 2022, seeing a need for his experience in the city with a brand new city manager, and was successful in his re-election. John has served on the Chamber Board of Directors during his mayoral term and is keenly interested in the Chamber and effectiveness in supporting its members and the business community. Interesting fact about John here. SF Gate named John Livermore's most interesting man. John has had 4 careers and also has served 15 years on Zone 7 Water Agency Board of Directors. There is never a dull conversation with John as he is well-versed in many subjects and loves to share his knowledge with others. We are certainly in for a treat today, as his presentation that will be presented today has been custom created by John himself. The Chamber is grateful for John's steady and clear-headed leadership and as the city navigates a comprehensive and thorough planning process for a current update of the 20-year city plan, ensuring that key elements are implemented that support economic vitality throughout the Livermore Valley now and in the future. Now please give a warm welcome to Livermore Mayor John Marchand.
Okay, excellent. Great, thank you so much. Wow, it is great to be back. It truly is. It's a remarkable community, and thank you for welcoming me back today. You know, I was reflecting on this when my first State of the City was actually 12 years ago. And I remember standing here and being profoundly humbled. The fact that everybody in the room had spent $50 to hear what I had to say. And today, you all spent $75. And you know what I'm going to say. I'm going to be talking about what a remarkable, amazing community that we all are able to live, work, and play in. And before I get too far, I would like to acknowledge some previous mayors. As I have said before, one of my favorite quotes is Isaac Newton, who said, if I can see farther, it is because I stand on the shoulders of giants. I'd like to acknowledge Mayor Kamina, who's in the audience today. Thank you so much. Thank you, Marshall. And former Mayor Bob Werner, who kept up the momentum. So he was mayor for 2 years, and it was great to have that 2-year break, because if there's something going on that people like, I can take credit for it. If they don't like it, I'll just blame Bob. So it's, as I said, it's great to be back here. It's an amazing community. And with that, I will tell you as a chemist, that is just so flippin' cool. I was back in Washington, D.C. at the U.S. Conference of Mayors in January. And I say, well, I'm the mayor of Livermore. Oh, I read about Livermore in the paper. I saw about Livermore in the news. Everybody wants to be Livermore. It is just so cool. So, yes, it rained. But one line I forgot. So, what we had with the National Ignition Facility, that is what I refer to as the Prometheus moment. The bringing of fire and bringing of the promise of energy to the world. First time it had ever been accomplished. And that Prometheus moment, and as I described it to people, to the mayors back in Washington, D.C., it is where we struck the match to ignite the sun. And that's incredibly cool. And that's a technology it has never been achieved before on Earth. Okay, so back to the regular presentation. So yes, it did rain, and it rained a lot. It was tremendous. And of course, the wind also blew. Hundreds of trees blew down. The flows down the arroyos were 100-year events. We actually hauled 216 tons of gravel from the bike paths between Arroyo Road and Stanley Boulevard. So it was, we put out over 6,000 sandbags and tons of sand. So it all came together, the community came together. And one of the things the city is very good at doing is we're very good at bringing people together to solve problems, to solve crises, to solve emergencies. We've just come through a 3-year period of time where the problem was bringing people together. So we were able to employ our Emergency Operations Center, newly constructed, newly built, newly opened, the John Shirley Council Chamber, which is actually why I came back, is so I could actually hold a meeting in the newly built council chamber. But that tank, I'm just glad that's not our tank, but it's in our, sorry, John. But yeah, these were incredible storms, and bringing everyone together, hundreds of man hours to mitigate the impacts of the storms. But the city came together, the city staff just did a phenomenal job bringing it all together into keeping our community safe, keeping those roads clear. We work together. One of the remarkable things about being here in the Tri-Valley is the fact that we work together as a region. And I'm very, very proud of that. So the Tri-Valley mayors went back to Washington, D.C., and we met with our congressional representatives. We met with the offices of our senators and our congressmen, the representatives. Department of Energy, we met with the EPA offices, promising help because of the PFAS problems that we have out here, the water quality problems. Again, offices of Dianne Feinstein, Padilla, Congressman Swalwell, DeSaulnier, Garamendi. And we happened to run into the students from Bishop O'Dowd High School, right there in the Hart Senate building. So we happened to be there the same time. They were so excited. There were other folks from California out here. One of the things that we achieved is we had not been declared a disaster area. So we didn't have FEMA assistance out here. The fact that we were back in Washington, D.C. as the mayors of the Tri-Valley, we got the offices of our senators to advocate on our behalf to open up a FEMA Disaster Assistance Center right here in the Tri-Valley. So that's one of the direct benefits that we got from working together. And you know, when I started out on the Zone 7 Water Board, we didn't have this sort of collaboration. And I'm so proud of the fact that we do collaborate. When I started out, when somebody was patting you on the back, they were looking for a place to put the knife. But now we can actually work together and achieve success like this, which benefits the entire region. Lake Del Valle is back to where we wanted it. It's filling up again. We were actually spilling water, and some of that water can go back into the arroyos, and it can also be used to recharge our groundwater basin. So we used to, during the drought, and by the way, we live in a desert, so we will always be in a drought. But During the drought, when we were trying to save water, we reached out to our community and said, we need to pull together. We saved, as a community, over 609 million gallons of water. Saved that. That's the equivalent of 900 Olympic-sized pools. And we saved that. A few years back, Livermore led the state in water conservation. It's who we are. We understand things that are important, and we bring things together, and we find solutions. Strategic plan. This is something that in my previous years on the council, every 2 years we would come together and we would set our goals and priorities. But public safety is not a 2-year goal. It is a continuing priority. So with our new city manager, Marchand, thank you. Yes, absolutely. Her vision is to create a strategic plan that carries through not just 2-year increments, but understanding the importance of having a cohesive plan that brings all the resources together to achieve those things that are most important in our community. And as you can see, we have all sorts of documents and input to inform this plan. And then the plan has the strategies based on our community pillars. Things like a safe community, economic prosperity. So you notice that number 1 on here continues to be public safety. I can't do this by myself. It requires the city council, and we all work together. Councilmember Ben Barrientos is here. Thank you so much for being here. Councilmember Bob Carling. Evan Branning could not be here, and they both actually have regular day jobs, Vice Mayor Brittany Kick. So they're at their day jobs today, but we have to work together to make sure that all of this can happen for the benefit of our community. I've got a lot of staff members that are here today. Thank you all for the tremendous work that you all do. This is not just a job. When you talk to the people that work for the city, they all have a passion for what they do because they understand the importance of what we're doing to support the community. So our vision, mission, and value statements, striving to create a safe, healthy, welcoming city for our diverse community. The mission statement, working to enhance the quality of life. In our vision statement, in our mission statement, even for the General Plan Advisory Committee, quality of life continues to be a top priority. And values. Values and ethics are extraordinarily important because we've all seen how some councils react to each other, how some councils interact and behave. So we actually have set down our goals and values because we understand the importance of working together, collaborating to achieve our goal, which is the quality of life for our community. We recognize that we may be elected from districts, but we serve the community at large. Number 1, a safe community that thrives. Our budget. The budget is the numerical representation of your priorities. Our number 1 priority is public safety. You'll see that in a little bit. Support facilities, design programs, and ensure compliance with regulations that create a healthy, resilient, and engaged community that is prepared, safe, and housed. An economy that prospers, talking about business engagement. That's why I'm on the chamber. I recognize that when our businesses succeeded, our community succeeds. Diversification, resilience, innovation. Environmental stewardship, to embrace and to care for the environment that we share with other communities and with the environment around us. We have our climate action plan implementation, solid waste recycling, and of course, environmental compliance. Inclusive and inviting spaces and places. We want to bring people together because that is what fosters innovation. When we bring people together with different ways of thinking, diverse ideas, that's where the creativity starts. And that's where we can start to build on bringing people together with varied experiences, which then create that innovation spirit. A city that works, fostering an organization that is fiscally sustainable. innovative, effective, and efficient. We recognize these are public dollars, and we need to use those wisely. This is working. Citizen survey. 92% of the people agree that Livermore is a great place to live and raise a family. You may have heard me say that in this political environment, you cannot get 92% of the people to agree the sky is blue. 92% agree that Livermore is a great place to live and raise a family. 98% agree that they feel safe in their neighborhoods. 98%. Overall economic health, 80%. We heard earlier from one of the sponsors about how banks are having difficulty. It's all over the news about the economy. 80% believe that Livermore's economy is sound. 89% quality of life, our number one priority. Excellent. The budget. So again, most of our dollars come from property taxes and sales taxes. $133 million for this fiscal year. Again, the number one priority for our budget is public safety, police and fire to continue to be over 50% of the budget. Community development, very, very small slice of administration. Even a smaller slice for what the city council gets paid, but that's okay, that's another subject. So general fund, 5-year forecast. You will notice that as soon as I got elected, those lines come together. And they're expecting that by the time I'm done, we're going to have the revenues is again above the expenditures. Capital improvement. These are large expenditures that are made to enhance the public infrastructure. So things like our number one priority, public safety. We're redoing fire station number 6. Have to take care of the light bulb. Police building reservations. We are continuing to grow, and we need to make sure that the public safety has the tools that they need to accomplish their goals, which is to protect our community. Our number one priority in our community, from what we heard from our voters, parking. Well, we added the I Street garage. We're going to start construction this summer on the L Street garage. Flagpole Plaza is going to continually be improved. Springtown open space. We have that 85-acre open space that used to be the golf course. So we're going to continue to work with our partner, LARPD, to develop that open space. We're going to be spending money out there in the very near future to set up a community garden. We just installed a new sculpture out there and creating gathering places where people can come together as a community, as I said, with this beautiful open space. Crosswalk safety improvements. So we're going through making them more visible, enhancements, traffic calming programs, and of course, the Tactical East Avenue. Has anybody heard of the Tactical East Avenue? Anybody getting emails about that? We do want to hear from you. We held a number of public workshops. We had pop-ups at the farmers markets. We had at the downtown events. We had meetings at the schools down there, community meetings with all the community organizations. And when we finally installed these things, people were saying, I didn't know anything about that. What happened? So we do want to get your input. So eastavecorridorstudy.com. So as you drive down and you see that you can't make those 45-degree turns, you have to actually make a 90-degree turn. Let us get your input, because we want the community input, and now's your opportunity to have an opportunity to have your say. Sidewalk repair program, we're going through right now and cutting a lot of the sidewalks down to level a lot of the hazards. There are actually 62,000 offset sidewalks that we're working on right now to increase public safety. So we're working on those. We're going to be doing more streets resurfacing and major transportation improvements, Vasco 580 interchange, and the North Canyons Dublin Boulevard, which we're working on right now with Alameda County Transportation Committee, the City of Dublin, and also the City of Livermore. New developments that are coming. The downtown continues to be a major priority. Eden Housing, you may have heard of that. Also Veterans Park. Thank you to Congressman Swalwell for donating a significant amount of money for the Veterans Park. Legacy Apartments is going to start, people will be moving in next month, and there's going to be 14,000 square feet of retail in the bottom. We've also got we've got a public art fee, so there's going to be a world-class installation of public art down there. The Spark Theater Lab, the Shakespeare Performing Arts Company, is going to be putting in their Spark Theater Lab, a black box theater down in Stockman Park. Livermore and Plaza, of course, everybody knows how proud of that I am. Blacksmith Square, they're going to be adding to Blacksmith Square. It's a downtown boutique hotel. And of course, the I Street parking garage is now open. And we've got a really cool technology there, so you can actually check on your phone and find out if there's a parking space downtown, even before you leave your house. So it's an online app. And then as you drive up there, you can actually see where the parking is. There's an LED display. And of course, the Quest Science Center is also downtown. So lots of tremendous things that are coming to Livermore in the near future. Again, Blacksmith Square, we've got the Quest Science Center, and some of the architecture, Spark Theater. Blacksmith Square is going to be very exciting. This is going to be a wonderful place to activate the entire community, the entire downtown. The SBC building, which has been sitting there vacant for a long, long time, it's now going to become the Farmers Union Restaurant. It's a locally sourced American fare. It's going to have indoor-outdoor dining, a raised patio deck, rooftop dining area, and full bar and wines and beer on tap from our many local wineries and breweries. Isabel neighborhood. So Monday night, we just approved the triad development at two different condominium setups down there, 72 in the east and 112 on the west. Also, Shea Portola is going to be coming in. Some very exciting projects. This is going to be right near the Valley Link station, so people can literally just walk to the station if they're not actually going to be working within the Isabel neighborhood specific plan. This is something that we also have planned that people can live and work nearby. So the last council meeting, there were 1,400 pages in the packet. There were 283 pages in the packet for the Alameda County Transportation Commission that I am going to be going to after this meeting. And then there's also 365 pages were in the Isabel neighborhood specific plan. So I have a personal assistant now. She helps by sitting on the keyboard. Keeping promises. So again, the number one priority in the downtown was the parking. So here's the I Street garage ribbon cutting. Livermore and Plaza, creating those very attractive places that bring people together. Here's the sculpture that's in Springtown, and this is the schematic of the Springtown open space. And these are some of the improvements that we're going to be starting on, starting with that community garden and the open spaces there. Business update. I think this is what everybody's interested in here. So when I go back to Washington, D.C., I talk to a lot of the mayors, and they say, well, we're going to start a tech hub in our city. We're going to bring all these smart people together in this tech hub. That's not the way it works. It requires civic investment first. That's what you have to do first, is civic investment, so that you create this sense of place. That sense of place is what attracts the talent, people that want to be here. It's not just, we used to be a city that people would drive through, and now we're a city that people drive to and actually want to be here. They want to live here. So once you've concentrated that talent, that's when you get this productivity. And that's when the businesses start to succeed. They start working with each other in this collaboration, which then brings in additional financial resources, those property taxes, those sales taxes, which then allows more civic investment, which makes it a more attractive community. And you set up this cycle, and that's where your community vitality comes from. We're very fortunate to have what are called impact businesses. They create disproportionate benefits to the community. These impact businesses have national or global customer bases, and they're wide demand. Things like Gillig Buses, one of the top bus manufacturers in the world, Monarch Tractor, leading the way. In fact, they made Smithsonian Magazine recently. Topcon, Global Positioning Systems. Again, providing that revenue that we depend upon so much, both from sales taxes, property taxes, that continue to grow the economy. The iGate, hang on a second here, still getting used to this. The iGate Innovation Hub that we just reopened down in East Livermore. This is a concentration of all the great things that are happening on the east side. Of course, we have Sandia and Lawrence Livermore, Topcon, Buzzkill Labs, gotta love that one. Buzzkill, they're doing lab work on being able to identify people that are driving impaired. Specifically from marijuana. And the different, lots of really cool stuff that's coming in. And again, we're creating that sense of place, that sense of innovation. New businesses that are coming into town, Sons of Liberty, St. John's Seafood, Crumble Cookies, and of course my favorite, Psycho Bunny. How can you not love Psycho Bunny, right? Men's clothing, Calafia, fusion cuisine. Welcoming new businesses. It's important. We do welcome these businesses. We want them to be able to come to Livermore and to succeed. Home helpers, Teas in Tea, Ta con todo. So this gentleman right here, nowhere else in Livermore, he's holding a picture of his grandfather, Pancho Villa. Yes, his grandfather is Pancho Villa. He grew up in Redwood City, and this guy, not Pancho, but that's his grandfather. Again, St. John Soul Food, BWIT Professional Services. So we still have to, as we look forward to the past and also look back into the past, also forward into the future, we recognize the excellence that we have. Recognizing success. 140 years. We have 140 years Kincannon Vineyards here in the Tri-Valley. 85% of the Cabernet vineyards planted in California come from the original mother vine, which is at Kincannon Winery. Wente, 140 years. The first Chardonnay in America, 1936, was Pinot Chardonnay by Wente. 85% of the Chardonnay clones in California are from the original Kincannon clone. And of course, the original Wente clone. Kincannon also in 1961 was the first vineyard to produce a varietal of Petit Syrah, which is now their signature wine. So 140 years, this is where the California wine industry began. So remember, we make wine in Livermore, we buy auto parts at Napa. Volponi Optometry, 70 years in business here in Livermore. Long time tradition, great service to the community. Livermore Heritage Guild, they were created to save the depot. The depot has now been restored and moved back to the tracks where it is once again a train depot. What a great success story. They also manage the Duarte Garage, which was on the original Lincoln Highway. The train that came through Livermore was part of the original Transcontinental Railroad. Best in the East Bay. So, best credit union, Uncle Credit Union. Woo, woo. Dragonfly Yoga and Wellness. Best yoga. Uncle Yu's at the Vineyard, best Asian cuisine. Kincannon, the best tasting rooms experience. Fusion 3 Salon, Ulta Beauty, Denica's, and of course, Sosa Kitchen and Bath Remodeling. So again, great businesses right here in Livermore. And of course, San Francisco Chronicle, Bay Area's best sourdough bread, Wingin'. Best picnic areas, Kincannon Vineyards. And of course, we're going to be out at Kincannon for one of the speaker series. Just a wonderful venue. More excellence. The Livermore High School Symphony Band is going to Carnegie Hall. Very cool. As is the high school chamber orchestra. They're going to Carnegie Hall as well. Best community college in California, Las Positas College. Number 6th best in the United States, and nationally recognized for their Veterans First program. Also recognized for their great Vets to Tech program and their collaboration with the laboratories for their innovation technology internships. Avance, a wonderful community. It's 44 affordable homes for adults that are developmentally disabled, people that now can live on their own, they can live independently. It's been recognized as a Gold Nugget Award for Pacific Coast Builders Conference, and it's actually up for a national award, recognizing the tremendous need in the community and that this fulfills that need. One of the cool things about this is they repurposed a historic home in Livermore. Robert Shannoni was Robert Livermore's grandson, and this repurposed his home, and the architects matched the architecture from the original home to the other 8 buildings, creating this wonderful neighborhood that's very cohesive with the architecture and this beautiful center courtyard. Celebrating diversity. So our differences, not similarities. A lot of cities talk about diversity, but in Livermore, we live it. We live diversity here. The Diwali Festival. We just celebrated our 3rd Maha Kumbhabhishekam. Thank you very much. Ceremony of the Yellow Emperor. Philam Barrio Fiesta, the Korean Cultural Festival, Shezanami Taste of Africa. Many of these festivals take place right on the Shea Plaza in front of the Bankhead Theater. At the library, celebrating Black History Month, celebrating Violins of Hope at the Bankhead Theater, bringing the violins from the Holocaust that survived an amazing program, breathtaking program, and that also went throughout our high schools and to a number of our junior high schools as well. The Dia de los Muertos celebration at the library. The LGBTQ plus History Month, Women in Science, and there's going to be Spark Theater is doing a program in the very near future on women in science with a commissioned play, and the Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month. Christmas at Lizzie Fountain, and of course the menorah lighting at Shea Plaza. Building community. Community Service Day, great fun. This was on May 6th. We had we had 369 volunteers come down. We planted shrubs all over Springtown. We had trees, plants, spread 22 yards of mulch, and bark as well. But the fun thing about this is having the community come together to serve their community. Many of us, we serve this community because we love it, and we love this community because we serve it. They go together. with Supervisor Halbert, we had the Living Arroyos the following weekend, coming together and cleaning up the arroyo, having volunteers that came down and worked again to keep our community looking good. Memorial Day. This is last year's Memorial Day, but coming down to Stockman Park, and Stockman Park was, of course, created to celebrate the Stockman heritage of the Stockman who founded the city of Livermore, people like William Mendenhall and Robert Livermore, and also to recognize the service of our veterans from Livermore, Pleasanton, and Murray townships. And of course, Livermorium Day is coming up next week. It's going to be on Tuesday this year, celebrating the fact that Livermore is one of only 6 cities in the world that has an element named after us, and to have our name appear on the periodic table of elements. It's going to be element 116. The band is going to be playing there. And of course, if you don't know where this is, it's at 116 Livermore Avenue. The fun stuff that you get to do. But it's so much fun to stand there. You watch the kids walk up to this ball. That ball weighs 11,000 pounds, and a child can move it. Maybe not that one. Yeah, maybe not this one, but these can. But 11,000 pounds, and you can move this thing. So it's fun to watch and have people walk up to it, and they give it the thing. So fun stuff. Okay, there were 3 phrases that we all learned during the pandemic, and that was pivot, resilience, and you're on mute. So what we're doing here is we are pivoting. The fireworks, what an amazing success the fireworks in the downtown have been. Livermore Downtown Inc. has just done a phenomenal job as a partner with the City of Livermore, and thank you very much for what you've done. The number one priority in the City of Livermore continues to be public safety. This was South Livermore Avenue. Does that look safe to you? No. Obviously I was in this crowd because I took the picture. But this was flippin' scary. Let me tell you, to stand down there and people could not move. No restrictions, and it was just this mass of people because people loved the fireworks. It was a wonderful display, but it is not safe. So what we are doing is we are pivoting, and we are going to move them back to Robertson Park. Thank you, LARPD. I sincerely appreciate your collaboration and working together. But this is going to be very cool. It's going to be on the field, so people can bring their blankets to lay out on the field under the stars. It's going to be pre-sale for parking, so people can buy parking, carload of people. It's $10. Please don't put people in your trunk. Sometimes people forget their keys. Yeah, we all did that at the drive-ins, right? But no. So $10 for the residents. For non-residents, we're going to charge $25. Make them pay. Or they can walk in. People can walk in for free. But this is again going to be a community celebration, bringing the community together as to celebrate the 4th of July. But it's going to be July 4th at Robertson Park. So again, thank you for your collaboration. So Livermore continues to be a city of contrasts and superlatives. We're the oldest commercial wine region in California. We are at the cutting edge of technology. We have the world's fastest rodeo, and we have the fastest supercomputer in the United States. We have the world's longest continuously burning light bulb, and for the first time in human history, we have created a star on Earth here in Livermore. And as Department of Energy Secretary Jennifer Granholm said here in Livermore on May 8th, when you can harness the power of the stars, there is no limit to how bright you can shine. This is Livermore. Thank you all.